Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Tony Viz the Tone. I'm back. Here I am with my recap from last night's Impact, the go home show to the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view this Sunday. Overall, I thought this was a decent show. We got we had some solid matches. We had a few Bound for Glory series matches, tag title match, the Aces and Eights speak on the Tron, and then we got a lot more of James Storm being accused of being leader of that clan by Bully Ray, and a great AJ Styles Kurt Angle match. So let's go get right into this. Show began. Bully Ray came out. He has SoCal Val come in the ring, and he has her hand him the mic, and then he just tells her to just scram. Then he says that he's the leader of the Bully Nation, and he's got his Twitter phone, his Twitter machine, and everything. He said, that his phone or whatever device it is he's got there is a fire-breathing Twitter machine, and he doesn't go anywhere without it. And he says that he learned from Joseph Park that if there's enough evidence stacked against someone, then that person must be guilty. That, of course, being James Storm. And he's saying that Ray says that he'll prove to everyone that James Storm is the leader of this Aces and Eights stable. Then he says, tonight he'll beat James Storm for 7 more points, or maybe he'll make him tap and get 10. And he says that Hardcore Justice he'll win there and get 20 points. And then I think he says something about there's so many facts about James Storm's connection to Aces and Eights. And then James Storm comes out. He says that all Ray's done right now is bore the fans, and he hasn't heard one fact come out of Ray's mouth. He says he's tired of people not believing him. He's also sick and tired of just being sick and tired. Then he says that right now Storm says he's more worried about winning the Bound for Glory series and regaining the TNA World Title. And Storm says that Ray's got him all worked up and pissed and everything. Storm says it's like where I come from, you get somebody pissed off or worked up, whatever, you draw a line and blah 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 and call him out to fight or whatever. So he's going to draw a line right in the ring, and he gives Ray to count to 3, gets the 3. Ray backs out. He goes outside the ring, and then Ray backs out, and then Storm says that anyone who doesn't believe him can come out and fight him. He's crossing the line. If anyone wants to step over it and fight him, bring him on, pretty much. So then then they show the Aces and Eights guys on the Tron. I don't know if they're sitting backstage or whatever, they're sitting somewhere. And one of them says that Sting gave them an invitation to show up to the show. And the guy says that was a risky thing to do, but they'll be there and they'll do things on their terms. And then afterwards, Ray screams at Storm, saying that was him on the Tron, and saying, "That's you, this is all you, Storm. Everybody knows it." All that stuff, and I thought I just kind of summarized what happened there, but as it was happening, I thought it was a little bit on the long side, but it was still good. But I still think it was a good segment. Then we go to Pope D'Angelo Dinero backstage. He's saying that the Bound for Glory series hasn't really gone the way he'd hoped, but he says that at Hardcore Justice he'll win his match and get the 20 points. And he says that if he makes it to the Final 4, he'll go to Bound for Glory and bring the title home to the congregation. Not a bad promo. And then Ken Anderson comes out for commentary for what was the first match of the show here. Bound for Glory series match, Magnus and Rob Van Dam. Solid match. Van Dam got the pin for 7 more points to the series. I don't remember off the top of my head everything that happened, but it was a good, solid to good match. Then Bobby Roode is backstage, talking to the camera guy. And Roode is saying that there might not be any contract signing because there's some language in the contract for the title match that Roode and his lawyers weren't really too thrilled with, and he says that they might not let him face Austin Aries on Sunday. It was a decent promo from Bobby Roode. Then we go to tag title match. Tag champs Daniels and Kazarian defend against TV champion Devon and Garrett Bischoff. Solid. Again, another solid match. Kazarian and Daniels win. Kazarian got the pin on Devon after hitting him with the tag title belt. That was, I think Earl Hebner was the referee too. And Daniels brought one of the tag belts on the ring. Earl Hebner caught him. I think he snatched the belt. Then Garrett went after Daniels. Daniels tossed him out of the ring. And, of course, Earl Hebner's got his head the other way. So, of course, he misses Kazarian hitting Devon with the belt. And then Kazarian pins Devon, gets the 3 count. Not a bad match. Solid match, but, I know that Devon and Bully Ray's deals are up soon, so I don't know. I'm hoping that they re-sign him because it's like, Bully Ray's really been, like, the best heel in TNA right now. So, hopefully they won't let them loose. So then they get Sting backstage talking to the cameraman, and he said that he promised Hulk that he'd take care of Brooke Hogan, and he says the best way to do that is to not have Brooke be at the show at all. So then he said, and he called out Aces and Eights last week, and they no-showed, and he's calling them out again tonight. Okay, a little confusing. I mean, he gave them an open invitation to show up, and he called them out again. I mean, I don't know, that was a little weird, I thought. So then we go to Robbie E and Robbie T, Rob Terry in the ring. There's a table set up there. Robbie says that, he knows that no one thinks that he has a shot at winning the Bound for Glory series, but he has 5 points. And he says that after he wins the tables match at Hardcore Justice, he'll have 20 more points. And the fans will say that Robbie E is going to Bound for Glory. Well, I don't think we all know that he's not going to be challenging for the belt. Then he says that the guy, he'll beat the guy that he put through the table. The guy that he puts through the table will be the guy that he beat a few weeks ago to get the 5 points, Jeff Hardy. So then he re-shows the clip of himself beating Jeff Hardy by countout from a few weeks ago. And then he was going to say there are 5 different reasons why Jeff Hardy's not on his level. He says one is because I don't even know what the hell he said. It's not even worth mentioning. He says one reason, and it's not even worth repeating. Then Jeff Hardy comes out. He hits the ring. Robbie tells him, hey, join the party or whatever, and he keeps bragging about how he beat Jeff for 5 points. And then Jeff goes after Rob Terry or whatever, and then Rob Terry went out of the ring. Then he was going after Robbie E, and Rob was like, oh, I was only kidding, bro. And then Jeff hits him in the head or whatever, and then Rob Terry comes back in, attacks Jeff, powerbombs him through the table. And then Robbie E stands over Jeff, saying, screaming at Hardcore Justice, he'll get 20 points. Not really, this segment was alright, but like I said, I'm not really the biggest Robbie E fan. I'm not the biggest Jeff Hardy fan either. So him constantly saying that he's got 5 points in the series was really kind of irked me after a while. It's like, hey, I got 5 points, woo. It's like, okay, whatever. Jeff Hardy coming out was alright. Rob Terry powerbombing him through the table. I was okay with that. So that's what happened there. Then we go backstage. The camera guy is talking to AJ Styles, and he said that since he doesn't drink, he would have remembered if he had knocked up Claire, pretty much. And he says he's jet lagged, and he just wants to focus on his match with Kurt Angle. This whole, I know they're saying do the right thing, and I said it on my last Impact recap, and I'll say it again: do the right thing and end this freaking storyline. It was so stupid. So then before we get to our next Bound for Glory Series match, Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, Samoa Joe actually comes out to the announce table. He says that it seems like everyone is coming out saying what they'll do in the Bound for Glory series. He says that AJ Styles and Kurt Angle are about to face each other next. Joe says that he'll beat Kurt Angle, he'll beat AJ, and he'll even beat Christopher Daniels. Because it's going to be those 4 in a ladder match at Hardcore Justice and a Bound for Glory series match. And he says that he's been dueling for the top spot since the series began. He has been going back and forth with James Storm. They have swapped the top spot. And then he says that he'll get the 20 points on Sunday. I think it was a good intense promo from Samoa Joe here. Then we get to what was the best part of the show, I think. One of the certainly the best match on the show. Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. Kurt Angle got the pin for seven more points. This was a really great back and forth match. They had a lot of near falls here. The end came when AJ went for a springboard 450. Kurt Angle got his knees up, and then he got the Olympic slam on AJ, got the 3 count. Then afterwards, AJ was walking up the ramp. Of course, Claire was out there supporting him. She was all smiles, and then as he was walking by, she was out there supporting him, saying, "Oh, it's okay, you lost. You gave a good effort, blah blah blah." And then he just walked off, and then she was like going into whack job mode. Anyway. at least they kept it to minimal. Back to Aces and Eights guys backstage. He says that one of the guys says that the guy says that everyone that they've gone after has been dealt a dead man's hand, and tonight we'll find out who the next victim will be. Then we go to Ken Anderson backstage. He goes up to James Storm and Anderson tells Storm that every time Aces and Eights attack someone, it always seems to benefit Storm. And Anderson says if he happens to be the next victim, then he and Storm will have a different kind of conversation, and it won't be like this one. All right. So then Austin Aries is backstage on the phone talking to someone or whoever, saying that Rude can make threats all he wants. The camera guy asks what's going on, what's happening. Aries says that he's not really into the whole legal. He doesn't get the whole legal mumble jumble crap, and he says that he and Rude will handle this like men, and they'll sign the contract, and the match will take place on Sunday, pretty much. Not a bad segment there. Then we have Knockouts champ Brooke Tessmacher against Gail Kim non-title. Tessmacher got the pin, solid match. Then afterwards, Madison Rayne comes out all smiles. Of course, Earl Hebner was the referee. So Madison Rayne comes out, she's all smiles, and she stares down Brooke a bit. And then she plants one on Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner collapses, and he was like unconscious over it. Yeah, whatever. This whole Madison Rayne Earl Hebner thing is so stupid. I mean, it's like I hope to God they don't do any ridiculous shenanigans where it's like Brooke's got like what they've been doing every time Madison's been in a match where it's like she's pinned but she wins anyway. I mean that's just going to be so stupid. Then we go to Joseph Park backstage, and he says that everyone's been asking him about the Austin Aries Bobby Roode contract signing. He says that he tried to warn Sting about this last week or whatever. This is what he tried to warn him about, and he said that things could get this could get intense. Okay, whatever. Then we show a video package of Kenny King. He talks about how coming to TNA was the biggest risk of his career, especially since he jumped ship while being one half of the ROH Tag Champions. He also says he thinks about what it would feel like to have the title in his hand. Well, he had a tag title in his hand when he bolted out of Ring of Honor. So time for the contract signing for the world title match. Sting comes out. He says that he promised Aces and Eights not just airtime, but also ring time. And he says, come out wherever you are. And then he says that they need to have the two guys for the world title match come out for contract signing. So he tells Aries and Rude to come out. They both do. Rude comes out. Aries comes out. Bobby Roode kicks the chair, and he gets all pissed off. And Sting says, "What's up with his attitude?" And Rude says, "Oh, what are you stupid? You don't know what's wrong with my attitude or whatever." He says, "The contract is his problem." And he says that what Rude says what's pissing him off about the contract, the stip in the contract, is that if he loses to Austin Aries on Sunday, he doesn't get another title match as long as Austin Aries is champion. So then Rude says he's not signing anything, and he says Sting has had a problem with Rude ever since Rude won the title. He's always tried to. He says that Sting has always been trying to stick it to Rude and one-up him ever since Rude became champion and everything. And now Rude says he's gonna one-up Sting here, and he says that if that stip isn't taken out of the contract, the match won't happen. And then then Austin Aries gets the mic and he tells Rude to quit bitching and whining. And Aries says that for someone who thought that Aries beating him was a fluke, he seems awful concerned and afraid about having a rematch and this and the contract stip and everything. And he says, Austin Aries says, that's because everyone knows that he's got Bobby Roode's number. And then Aries says that when he beats Rude on Sunday, he said we'll do a verbal agreement here. Forget the written contract. We'll do a verbal contract right here and right now. He said that if he beats Rude, Rude won't get a title match. However, he says that if Rude beats him and regains the title, Aries forfeits his rematch clause. So Sting says, "Hey, all right, we got a verbal agreement here," and he tells Rude to shake on it. Okay, so he and Rude and Aries shake hands on the deal, and then Sting says the one guy will walk out champ, and the other will never get a rematch. So then of course they start screaming at each other, Aries and Rude, and then Rude offers his hand again to Aries. I don't know what happened. Then Aries picked up the belt, and then Rude throws water on him. Aries goes after Rude, knocking the table over, and Rude rolls out of the ring up the ramp. And it was a good segment. I thought both Aries and Rude were good on the mic here. It was the usual. Contract signing turns into chaos, and the guys attempt to go after each other. The table gets knocked over. It was the same. I don't know why they always have the contract signings. It's just, that's really predictable. But they added to it that this is going to be the title match. whoever loses, they won't get a rematch, I guess, as long as the other guys got the belt or whatever. Then they go backstage. They show like a video or whatever of Hernandez and Chavo and Kid Cash and Gunner talking about their tag match on Sunday, and Chavo says that he and Hernandez will, hopefully will be looking to get some gold in TNA eventually, and Kid Cash says that Chavo's pretty much a cheater after Chavo beat him last week. So then we get to, I believe this was our main event, James Storm and Bully Ray, Bound for Glory series. This was another good match. Eventually, Ray hit the Bubba Cutter and got the pin for 7 more points toward the BFG series. Good match. Then Ray asks Storm, they were like, hey, where are you guys? He asks where the Aces and Eights guys are. And then they show up on the Tron again, and one of the guys tells Ray tells Bully Ray that he'll be seeing a lot more of them on Sunday. And then Ray says that Storm's he's got you got you guys coming for me on Sunday, don't you? Ray says that everyone knows it's you, Storm, and that ended the show. Went to the credits with Bully Ray screaming, like, everyone knows it's you, Storm, you're behind this, blah blah blah, you're the leader of this clan, whatever, and that ended the show. So overall, like I said, I thought it was a decent show. I thought they did a decent to solid build for the pay-per-view this Sunday. It looks, on paper, it looks like it could be a really good show. Like I say, the opening segment was, I thought, a little bit long as I was watching it, but it was still good. Storm and Bully Ray and Kurt Angle and AJ Styles were both really good matches. Storm and Bully Ray was good. Aries and Rude contract signing, I thought it was good. It was the typical contract signing. Everything. Everything goes, chaos erupts. It was the whole, the two guys ready to go at it bit. Aces and Eights on the Tron, I was okay with too. RVD Magnus was solid. I thought that Test Marker Gail Kim and Devon Garrett versus Kazarian and Daniels were solid also. The stuff with Jeff and the Robbies was kind of hit and miss, I thought. And of course, like I said, the Kurt Angle AJ Styles match was tremendous. It was I think my favorite part of the show. It was definitely the highlight of the show for me. So overall, I thought it was a decent to good show this week. I thought they did a solid job in building up to Hardcore Justice this Sunday. So speaking of Hardcore Justice, I guess it's time to run down the lineup for the show that will be taking place this Sunday. So we have Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez versus Kid Cash and Gunner. We've got X Division Championship on the line. Zima Ion defends against Kenny King. The Knockouts Championship will be on the line as Miss Tessmacher defends the title against Madison Rayne, and I hope to God they don't make her help to the referee and do some shenanigan crap with that. We have 3 4-way Bound for Glory Series matches, each worth 20 points. We have a tables match. It will be Jeff Hardy, James Storm, Bully Ray, and Robbie E. That's a tables match. We have a Falls Count Anywhere match. Ken Anderson, Rob Van Dam, Pope D'Angelo Gennaro, and Magnus. And the ladder match, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and Kurt Angle. And of course we have the world title match. Loser does not get a rematch. Champion Austin Aries defends against former champion Bobby Roode. So that's your lineup for Sunday. Like I say, on paper, it looks like it could be a really good show. I might check it out. So, like I say, it should be a good show. So, this has been. So that'll do for me right now. I'll see if I can. See if I can find SmackDown later, and maybe be back later with a SmackDown recap. But overall, I thought that they did a good job. I thought they did a decent to solid job last night in the final hype for this Sunday's pay-per-view. So that'll do for me right now. Like I say, you can check out TonyViz.blogspot.com, where I give a very in-depth recap of the shows, and you can, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Tone 4L. Add me as a contact. You can share your videos with me, leave me some feedback, and again, thanks to those of you who have shared some videos and added me, put me on the contact list. I appreciate that. I know I say it all the time, but it's true. I appreciate it. So that'll do it for me right now. Hopefully I'll be back later on with a SmackDown recap. And until then, this is Tony Viz the Tone. Thanks for watching, and have a great one, and I'll talk to you all later.